guys! Alright, so today I am going to be having a little chit chat about Cartagena in Colombia and a sailboat tour, or sailboat from Cartagena to Panama. Actually, not much about Cartagena. It's a really, as far as Colombia goes, I think it's really expensive. There's an old town and a new town. Old town's pretty cool to walk around in, but overall, Cartagena didn't impress me much. The main reason I was in Cartagena is because I wanted to take a sailboat from Colombia to Panama. Now, there's a few different options that you can do. I was really bent on going from Cartagena down to almost the border of Panama, kind of close to the Darien Gap, and taking kind of a like a speedboat type thing, and you kind of hop throughout the Darien Gap to these beaches all the way up to Panama. Is probably maybe $100 cheaper that way. But however, with like to get to that town next to the border in Panama, it would have required a lot of buses and a lot of like a boat, another speedboat that wasn't comfortable, and I just heard that is really not worth that extra leg to get to that. I still kind of wish I did that, but I don't know. I don't really know anyone else that did that trip, but I kind of wish I would have continued to do that. I was just tired by the time I got to Cartagena and wanted to do the easy way. You also can fly from Colombia to Panama, and you also can take a ferry from Cartagena to Panama. Both are cheaper options. I took the most expensive option. I took a 5-day sailboat tour to say 5 days. It's really like 4 from Cartagena to Panama. Now, going this direction is better because it doesn't, it's smoother sailing, but with that said, most everyone still was pretty sick. So I don't even want to know what kind of sailing it is from Panama to Colombia. So the first day, the day is 5 days, but the first day you meet at like 5 p.m. and you don't actually, you kind of go through immigration, or you get your exit stamp out of Colombia. And in order to, you just wait around, you meet everyone. Of course, I'm hoping for hot guys. There are none. There's plenty of guys. They're just not attractive or like remotely interesting. But, so then you get on the boat and you eat dinner, and now it's dark, and it's about 7 o'clock, probably 8 o'clock you leave, and you find out your cabins. So it's kind of like up in the air. We had a catamaran, and this is another thing. I was paying like $600, which I thought was expensive, but I heard other people do this trip and they just raved about it, so I wanted to do it. And I was going to Panama anyways, so it's just a way to get to Panama, and I really didn't want to fly. I was super against flying. I wanted to make it overland as much as possible to North America. So I was told, which I know when I went to the travel agency, or it wasn't an agency, it was this girl who signs you up for different boats to go on. And I know she's a sales lady, and I know she's trying to sell me on this trip, but she was doing a really good job. But she was like, oh, the jungle speedboat trip versus this trip is like you get your own bed every night. You don't have to pack and unpack every night. So I thought I got my own bed. But the first night there, they're like, okay, we're going to sort out sleeping arrangements. And this is just in case if it rains. Obviously, you can sleep anywhere on the boat. But there's basically 4 bedrooms, and there's probably 16 of us. So there's 2, like, less than double beds, and those went to couples. And then the other 2 rooms are, they say 3 people can fit on a bed. And it's 3 people on one bed. So I got hooked up with a couple from Canada, and they're nice and so good about it, and no problems with them at all. But I didn't really want to be in like this threesome on this bed with these couple that I just met. But they're like, okay, 3 people can sleep in that bed, and there's another place where 3 people slept, and then there's 2 other beds on the side. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then there had to be I don't know where anyone else slept. Other people slept, I don't know. Oh, and then there's a dorm. And that was in the kitchen where they just so there's 12 people, so there's like 4, no, there must have been more than that, 19 people. So they put the rest of 7 people just in one big bed. So 7 people, so it was mostly guys and couples. So there's a couple and then all guys on that one big bed where they just kind of spooned each other all night. And that was where you slept. And I was just kind of disappointed with that situation because the sales lady made it sound like I would have my own bed. So I was a bit disappointed with that. But I mean, the people on the boat were great, and I probably should have just snuggled with the 5 guys in the dorm. But so the first night you sleep, you basically sleep while the captain was awesome. He's like had all these tattoos, and he was like this French guy, and then there's this Australian girl that was a cook, and she made such good food. And then there's some other like crew member. There's another crew member from Argentina, but he didn't speak much English. But so the first night you sleep, and you draw names to see if your name of the person throws up first, then like everyone put in $1, and then whoever wins gets the pot. So that tells you a lot, that someone is going to throw up on this trip, and it might be you. So whoever is the first one to puke is the person who drew their name gets the money. So that doesn't mean no one else can puke. I almost puked, but so you sleep overnight, and it's just hot because you have to have the windows closed while it's in navigation. So I'm down on the bottom, it's hot, and then and then the next day, so that's technically day 2, even though day 1 started at like 8 or 9 p.m. and you slept. So I don't count that one. I think it's a 4-day trip. But day 2 is a whole day of just navigation. And this is where it's really boring. You can't really walk around because you just get sick. And we're going the easy way, remember? Like the other way from Panama to Colombia is rougher water, but we are going the easy way. And so, you can't walk, you're just sitting around the whole time. So the second day is completely just you trying not to throw up. Because of course you don't want to be the first one to throw up. You want to win that pot. I never ended up throwing up, but I definitely felt like I had to throw up for like half the time I was on that boat, which wasn't fun. So then you go to bed that night, and the 3rd day, which is really the 2nd day, the 3rd day you wake up and you're in Sandblast Islands, which is the destination you want to be in, and you're in Panama. So you're in Panama, and it's just beautiful, and it's like 6 in the morning, and you wake up to the sunrise, and you're just jumping off the boat swimming, and there's an island. So these guys like swim over to the island, they pick up a coconut, and they bring it back to the boat, and the captain's like, you shouldn't do that. Like, they charge the Sandblast people, like, charge you per coconut. Like, you can't, like, they consider that stealing. So they swam back and they put it back on the island. But yeah, the Sandblast people were kind of like, obviously we're on their islands, but like, you do anything, you pay for it. So we walked around the island, and the people came up to me and were like, so who's your captain? Like, they wanted to know who I was with, and stuff like that. I mean, they were nice, they were fine. But then we're walking around this island, and this guy like caught a sea turtle and was like, it's alive, but he was gonna eat it and sell it for like meat, and that was kind of sad. So then you spend the afternoon just snorkeling around this island. Our captain had like a paddle boat, which I did that for the first time. And then you move to another island. There's so many islands. You move to another island. You kind of do snorkeling there as well, and then you anchor for the night and you sleep overnight there. So day 3, he kind of gives you, the captain gives you like some options, but we chose to go to the shipwreck. And then so we went around the shipwreck as all these fish. We're swimming around, snorkeling. There's a little island there where you can stay overnight. So if you don't do a sailboat tour and you just do a tour yourself, you can do that. The afternoon we played beach volleyball. I kind of got injured a little bit because I fell. I'm not athletic, but I fell on my knee, and so I was bleeding, and so but our team won several games. And then at night you kind of just drink on the islands. They have like each island, there's nothing on the islands but like one family that lives there, and they sell you beer. So you drink at night. One of the highlights was doing a beer swim. So we swam to the island and got a bunch of beer. Just hanging out on the boat was nice, but it's a lot of downtime. So I finished a complete book. Like everyone just kind of sat around and read books. Which, I mean, you're spending like $600 to sit on a boat for 4 days. Yeah, it's a beautiful place, but I don't think you need to do this trip for that amount of money. And then the 5th day, it's kind of the day to say goodbye. We go to the main village in the Sandblast Islands, and you kind of walk around there. And then we had to get our passport stamps to get into Panama. Even though the Sandblast Islands are in Panama, we were actually going to the land now. So we had to get our passport stamps. And this is the most like fun boarding crossing, I guess. And because our captain took all of our passports, and he's like, if you want to swim, you can to the island to get, because you just had to be there to show your face. And your passport, like, so he took a boat and I swam. So I was in my bikini and I swam to immigration, and I went through immigration in my bikini, and then I swam back to the boat. And I don't know, it was the most exciting border crossing. The only thing with Panama though, if you arrive by sailboat, you only get 72 hours in the country of Panama. So you basically have to get out of Panama as soon as you get there, otherwise you have to pay a fine. So that was kind of annoying. But I will tell you, if you overstay your 72-hour visa, then you have to pay like $100 fine or something. So I will tell you that story and how that played out in my next video, and I'll talk about Panama in general in my next video.